Alright YouTubers, welcome back to War Thunder with the Angry Nerd, and we're back once again in the Air Forces. And we're currently looking at the Hurricane Mark II-B. Now I have previously done a Mark I video, and for some unknown reason I completely skipped over the Mark II. So I backtracked and here we are. Now the Hawker Hurricane is a British single-seat fighter aircraft that was designed and built by Hawker Aircraft Ltd for the Royal Air Force, or more commonly known as the RAF. Although largely overshadowed by the Supermarine Spitfire, the aircraft became renowned during the Battle of Britain, accounting for 60% of the RAF's air victories in the battle, and served in all major theaters of the Second World War. At the time of the Hurricane's development, the RAF Fighter Command consisted of just 13 squadrons, each equipped with either the Hawker Fury, the Hawker Demon, or the Bristol Bulldog, all of which were biplanes with fixed pitch wooden propellers and non-retractable undercarriages. Though faster and more advanced than the RAF's current frontline biplanes, the Hurricane's constructional design was already outdated when introduced. It used the traditional Hawker construction techniques, consisting of steel, duraluminum, and wood. Wooden formers and stringers carried the doped linen covering. Initially, the wing structure consisted of 2 steel spars and was also fabric covered. An all-metal stressed skin wing of duraluminum was introduced in April of 1939 and was used for all of the later marks. The Hurricane was ordered into production in June 1936, mainly due to its relatively simple construction and ease of manufacture. As war was looking increasingly likely, and it was essential to provide the RAF with an effective fighter aircraft, and it was unclear if the more advanced Spitfire would enter production smoothly. The Hurricane was also significantly cheaper than the Spitfire, requiring 10,300 man-hours to produce versus 15,200 for the Spitfire. The maiden flight of the first production aircraft, powered by a Merlin II engine, took place on 12 October 1937. By the outbreak of the Second World War, nearly 500 Hurricanes had been produced and had equipped 18 squadrons. One of the design requirements of the original specification was that both the Hurricane and the Spitfire were to be used as a night fighter. The Hurricane's stable firing platform and good handling characteristics proved to be a relatively simple aircraft to fly at night, and excelled in the night fighter role. The Hurricane would also be used as an intruder aircraft, patrolling German airfields in France at night in an attempt to interdict night bombers during takeoffs and landings. The Hurricane's design evolved through several versions and adaptations, resulting in a series of aircraft which acted as interceptor fighters, fighter bombers, and ground support aircraft. More than 14,583 Hurricanes were built by the end of 1944, with some 1400 built in Canada by the Canadian Car and Foundry. Now we'll do a quick rundown of the versions of the Hurricane. The Hurricane Mark I, the first production version, with fabric covered wings, a wooden two-bladed fixed pitch propeller powered by the 1030 horsepower Rolls-Royce Merlin Mark II or Mark III engines, and armed with 8 7.7 Browning machine guns, was produced between 1937 and 1939. The Hurricane Mark I Revised, a revised Hurricane Mark I series built with a de Havilland or Rotoll constant speed metal propeller, metalled covered wings, armor, and other improvements. In 1939, the RAF had taken on about 500 of this later design to form the backbone of the fighter squadrons. There was also the Hurricane Mark II A Series 1. Sorry about that. There was also the Hurricane Mark II A Series 1. The Hurricane Mark I, powered by the improved Merlin engine. This new engine used a mix of 30% glycol and 70% water. Pure glycol is flammable, so not only was the new mix safer, but the engine also ran approximately 70% cooler, which gave longer engine life and greater reliability. The new engine was longer than the Merlin, and so the Hurricane gained a 4.5-inch plug in front of the cockpit, which made the aircraft slightly more stable due to the slight forward shift in the center of gravity. It first flew on 11 June 1940 and went into squadron service in September 1940. There's also the Hurricane Mark II-B, which we're currently looking at. It was a Hurricane Mark II-A Series 2, which was fitted with racks allowing it to carry 2 250 or 2 500-pound bombs. This lowered the Hurricane's top speed, but by this point mixed sweeps of Hurricanes predicted by a fighter screen of Spitfires or Hurricanes were not uncommon. Hurricane Mark II-A Series 2 was equipped with new and slightly longer propeller and mounted 12 7.7mm Browning machine guns. The first aircraft were built in October 1940 and were renamed the Mark II-B in April 1941. The Hurricane Mark II-B Tropical was a tropical variant of the Mark II-B and were fitted with dust filters, and the pilots were issued a desert survival kit. Coming to War Thunder, but not quite here yet, one that I have been waiting for is the Hurricane Mark II-C. Now, it was a Mark II-A Series 2 that was equipped with a new and slightly longer propeller and fully replaced the 7.7mm machine gun armament with 4 20mm Hispano cannons, 2 per side. Hurricane Mark II-A Series 2 became the Mark II-C in June 1941. Using a slightly modified wing, the new wings also included hard points for a 500 or 250 pound bomb, and later in 1941, fuel tanks. By then, performance was inferior to the latest German fighters, and the Hurricane had changed to the ground attack role. The Mark II-C also served as a night fighter and intruder. And another one scheduled to show up for War Thunder is the Hurricane Mark IV. It was the last major change to the Hurricane and saw the introduction of the universal wing, a single design able to mount two 250 or 500 pound bombs, two 40 millimeter Vickers guns, drop tanks, or 8 RP-3 rockets. It mounted two 7.7 millimeter machine guns to aid in the aiming of the heavier armament. The new design also incorporated the improved Merlin 24 or 27 engines with up to 1,620 horsepower. There were also numerous modifications of the Hurricane for naval operations, known as Sea Hurricanes. They were equipped with catapult spools and arrestor hooks. At least 800 units were converted to Sea Hurricanes. Now here in War Thunder, if we look at the Mark I, the Mark I is a rank 1 with a battle rating of 2.0. It has a max speed of 223 miles per hour, and a turn time of 16.3 seconds. And it has 8 7.7 millimeter Browning machine guns. The Mark II-B, on the other hand, is a rank 2 with a battle rating of 2.3. It has a max speed of 322 miles per hour, a turn time of 22.1 seconds, and it has 12 7.7 millimeter machine guns. Let's take a quick look at the research tree. So you can see the Hurricane Mark I is here in Tier 1. You'll be going up against Furies, Gladiators, biplanes, some monoplanes from the other nations. But when you jump down into Tier 2 with the Mark II-B, you get 4 more machine guns. You also get some rockets, but your speed and maneuverability decreases, and you'll start facing more advanced monoplanes. That's the only drawback between the Mark I and the Mark II-B, is the enemies which you will be facing. So now in today's exit montage, it's going to be a little bit longer than usual, but I hope you will enjoy it as much as I enjoyed getting the footage. Let's jump into a game and see what we can do with the Hurricane Mark II-B. I just noticed you could slick through the server tabs up here. Interesting. Okay, we picked up a Spain ground strike. I was going to say something about random battles. I'm really sleepy. Forgive. So we got Spain. It's a ground strike map. Change that stuff back to stealth, because I was not liking that tracer ammunition at all. just too much. Alright, let's see what we're up against. PBY, 779, SB2M, PBY. Now let's see if we can find them. I think we found them. Okay, now where's that little, there's the SM-79. Let's go over there, say hello to it. Alright, we're slowly catching up to it. There we go. Hate that it took 3 rockets to do it though, man. Sorry, guy. Oh. Lovely. Here we go. Dang. Who the heck was still shooting at me? Okay, the G-50 thinks he's going to sneak up onto the MiG. All right. Okay. Now, what do we got? Airfield is over this way. We're a good bit damaged up. But I don't know if the game's going to last long enough for me to make it to an airfield and do some repairs. That guy looked like he was coming at me with a purpose. Just not quite enough time to teach him a lesson. Okay, we picked up the Unguided award for destroying enemy plane with a rocket, a ground force rescuer, a bomber hunter, a win streak ×4, survivor, and terror of the sky. We destroyed 6 enemy aircraft. Had 5 critical hits. Guess if you get hit with a rocket, it counts as a critical hit. Let's see. Came in first place on the team. 18,935 Silver Lions, and 6,445 of that was because I have a premium account. So that was a quick look at the Hurricane Mark II-B. Overall impressions is I love rockets, so simply because they let me get the rockets on it, you know, I gotta like it. But flight characteristics, the extra 4 machine guns, it's not that big of a difference over that Mark 1. And here in Tier 2 you come up against a few more heavier equipped opponents, so you just have to keep that in mind. So if you liked the video, like it. If you didn't, don't. Subscribe if you would. But as always, thanks for watching. Nerd out.